This is Southern, and welcome to its Wrestling Time post show. It is Monday, September, February 26th, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. All right, Michael says, let's make NXT Roadblock review happen. NXT Roadblock would be fun, I'm sure. In order for me to review NXT, I have to hit 1,000 subscribers by Monday, March 4th. I'm only 10 subscribers away, so if you want to see me review NXT, have to help me hit 1,000 subscribers by Monday, March 4th, or y'all can forget about NXT. All right, so tonight's Raw was kind of all over the place. You know, it was a fallout from the Elimination Chamber, but let's kick things off talking about this Drew McIntyre promo. Let's get her there, everybody. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Drew McIntyre won the Elimination Chamber, so he's getting the opportunity to face off against Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania. Drew is probably getting the opportunity to get the opportunity he was robbed of in 2020, which, you know, winning the title in front of fans and not in some empty arena. Hey, Io says TikTok to 1,000. LOL. You guys just want me to watch and review NXT, right? You gotta help me get to 1,000 subscribers if you want me to watch NXT. So he comes out. Drew better win. Yeah, I agree. So he comes out and he starts talking about how he thanks the crowd and stuff because they did it. He won the Elimination Chamber. Now he mentions how during the chamber he busted his eardrum. And he was told that he was hurt and there was a chance he wouldn't make it to WrestleMania. And he asked who he is, CM Punk? And then he sits crisscross like CM Punk. And I was just like, oh my God, Drew McIntyre is such a freaking savage. This character of his that he's been doing for the last couple months has done some great work. I mean, he's such a savage. That shirt that he wears with CM Punk's WrestleMania main event, my God. And he talks about how you guys, everybody knows that CM Punk is straight edge. So Drew McIntyre mentions he drank twice as much for both of them because he was celebrating that he won the Elimination Chamber. Drew for most savage wrestler of the year. Yeah, definitely. I love that he sat crisscross like Punk there, rubbing in his face. Yeah, definitely. So obviously, Seth Rollins comes out, and basically, this whole interaction between them was actually really good. I really enjoyed that interaction. Drew McIntyre brings up the fact that, he's been watching what's been going on with The Rock, Roman, and Cody, and kind of questions why Seth Rollins has to go to SmackDown and fight their battles when he needs them there, which is a good point. Why Seth Rollins feels the need to go over to SmackDown when he's not even on SmackDown. He's not the champion of SmackDown. He's the champion of Monday Night Raw. Yeah, he's fighting these battles that he shouldn't be fighting. And Drew McIntyre basically says that if he were champion, he wouldn't give two shits about SmackDown. I think he even said he would pee on them if they begged for help. Or if there's fire going on SmackDown, he wouldn't even think twice about helping them. Again, just showing the kind of character that Drew McIntyre is. Now, Rollins brings up a really good point that some risks are worth taking. And he thought about everything that McIntyre had said. Maybe McIntyre is right, maybe McIntyre is wrong. But he feels the need he has to take down the bloodline. Now, I really like the fact that Drew McIntyre kind of says that he doesn't want his victory to be tainted. And kind of like how Seth Rollins told Drew McIntyre before a crown jewel, make the best man win. So this was a really, really good segment between both of them. Honestly, I feel like it's Drew McIntyre's time. He's going to take that title off of Seth Rollins. And with all these shots he's taking at CM Punk, the mocking him for his injury, the sitting crisscross applesauce, talking about how his career would have been useless as CM Punk's return to WWE if he didn't win the chamber. And just all of this kind of leads me to believe that when CM Punk comes back, whenever that may be, the first person to go after is Drew McIntyre. And not only that, Drew McIntyre took him out, basically. So, it's savage. But what did you guys think of Drew McIntyre's promo here and him basically mocking CM Punk? I thought it was really great. Not because I dislike CM Punk. I like CM Punk. I just thought that was really great character work by Drew McIntyre. This was amazing stuff here. So Monday Night Raw basically opened up with Rhea Ripley promo, and I kind of hate when they open up with promos because you know what that means. Let's see. If Drew wins at WrestleMania and defeats Rollins, I would like to see Gunther face him and Gunther win the world title. Ooh, that's good. You usually know what these promos mean. They usually set up, the main event or a match. One of the things I did like about this promo was the fact it didn't set up a match, but it kind of helped build towards Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. I really like the fact that Becky says that she can do it all, including beat Rhea Bloody Ripley. Now, you guys all know Becky Lynch calls herself the man. So Rhea fired back by saying that behind every great man is a greater woman. I really like the fact that she said that. And she also tells Becky not to disrespect her Latino heat. And you guys know that Rhea Ripley calls herself mommy. So she tells Becky that she's not behind her because mommy's always on top. So before the segment goes on. But before I get to that, I really, really like this interaction between Rhea and Becky. I'm really sold on their match. I'm kind of torn on who should win. I feel like Rhea Ripley should beat Becky Lynch because I don't think Becky needs a title. But at the same time, it's like Rhea Ripley, if she's going into WrestleMania, she's going to be a year-long champion. So it's only a matter of time before she loses that title. So, Nia Jax comes on, she attacks Becky Lynch with the leg drop. And then, Adam Pearce and officials come out and they prevent Nia from basically squishing Becky. And I really like that on commentary. Pat McAfee said that Adam Pearce had a successful interaction. And it's true because, nobody ever listens to Adam Pearce. He's not in control of the locker room and the roster, kind of like Nick Aldis is in SmackDown. Nick Aldis has more control over SmackDown than Adam Pearce does Raw. Nobody ever listens to him. They basically do whatever he wants. Becky's taking the title off of Rhea. Mommy deserves to go from Mania to Mania as champion. Oh, yeah, she probably is. If Rhea beats Becky, what's next? Who's left for a challenge? Exactly. The only other person I can think of that could possibly take the title off of Rhea if she topples Becky would possibly be a debuting Jade Cargill. Where is Jade? They debuted her in the Royal Rumble and she hasn't shown up here. So I'm a little confused as to what direction they're going to go in with Jade here. But if Rhea does beat Becky, I say Jade. Yeah, Jade Cargill. So Nia Jax is giving an interview backstage, and basically, she's promoting her match with Liv Morgan, and what she says that what happened to Becky is going to happen to Liv. So nothing much to go there. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. Now, the first time they did meet each other was 2 weeks ago, which Nakamura won because Drew McIntyre caused a distraction and cost Sami Zayn the match. Hopefully we see Jade next week interfering in the match between Becky and Nia. Maybe. Now, I thought this was a really great match between both. Nakamura is doing excellent work here, but the problem with Nakamura is that he loses a lot. He keeps losing. And this was an example of this too. He lost to Sami Zayn. But this was a great match. I really enjoyed it. And this ties into an interview that Sami Zayn does later in tonight, which I'll talk about in a bit. Chelsea Green cuts a promo. Absolutely loved her promo. I mean, I'm really happy she's getting some promo time. I hope she gets more promo time. Chelsea Green is amazing. If you haven't seen some of her work before she made it to WWE, go check it out. Well, she was great in TNA, not only as Laurel Van Ness, the hot mess, but as Chelsea Green when she reunited with Deonna Purrazzo to form Vex. So, Chelsea Green actually also made history. She became the 4th woman to hold both the Knockouts tag titles and the WWE Women's tag titles. So this was a typical Chelsea Green character promo. She's talking about how she complained to WWE management because Adam Pearce inserted Raquel Rodriguez into that battle royal. Like, if you guys remember, Raquel Rodriguez and Chelsea Green were the final 2 in that battle royal. Now, she takes a shot at the San Jose Sharks. I don't know much about the Sharks, but one of my friends told me that the Sharks had a pretty terrible season. So she calls them losers, basically. Even if defeat Chelsea stands out, she understands the assignment. She definitely does, because even though she loses, she gets people talking, whether it's good or bad. She gets them talking, and that's not a lot of people can do that. So this leads into Raquel Rodriguez and Chelsea Green. This is a short match, but one of the things I really liked about this was Chelsea's character work. She drew a battle line, I think, the do not crossing. She drew it twice because Raquel Rodriguez went over it twice. And even though this was such a short match, it just highlighted what Chelsea Green can do. And at the end, Raquel mocks her with a shh. So I wish it was a little longer, though. So Sami Zayn gets interviewed backstage, and one of the things I like about this is that you guys know that lately he's been talking about how he's a contender who will be champion, and he talks about how this victory against Nakamura reaffirmed that belief. So as he's talking, he gets interrupted by, surprise, surprise, Imperium. Now, Vinci and Kaiser kind of just walk by. Kaiser kind of does stare at him, but he walks by. It's what Gunther does that got me thinking here. So Gunther approaches him, and they have this little stare down, and then Gunther just laughs at him and walks off. So I wonder if we're gonna get Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania, because as you guys know, Sami Zayn really doesn't have a clear path to WrestleMania. He keeps talking about how last year, by this time, he had his clear path. He main evented WrestleMania alongside Kevin Owens, and they won the tag titles. I was there. I will forever have that memory of seeing Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens win the tag titles at the WrestleMania Night 1 main event. I have pictures and videos of that. It was such an amazing moment. And like he says here, he's got no clear direction. So maybe Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the IC title. I kind of wanted Sami Zayn to be inserted in a match with Rollins and Drew McIntyre and make it a triple threat. But let's see. Chad Gable versus Gunther at WrestleMania is the way to go. I do agree, but I also wouldn't mind Sami Zayn. I know there's a Cody Rhodes interview, but I'll get to that right now. Because Gunther, they go out there, and he starts talking about how he stands there as the greatest IC champion of all time after beating Jey Uso, but he does make note of the fact that Jey Uso almost had him beat, and he felt his title slipping from him, but he got lucky. And the only reason he won was because of Jimmy. Jimmy Uso cost Jey this title opportunity. Now he starts asking, he talks about how he's beaten everybody, and he wonders who his WrestleMania opponent's going to be. He talks about how he's heard people talk about Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, The Miz, R-Truth. It'd be interesting to see if Sami could be involved in ending a long title reign at back-to-back Mania if the Gunther match happens. Yeah, I would be interested. So, I know Gunther was supposed to originally face Lesnar, but things happened. That match is off the table. So now his WrestleMania opponent is a giant question mark. We don't know who Gunther's gonna face. Triple threat with Gable, Sami, and Gunther is not a WrestleMania match. Why is it not a WrestleMania match? Now, things get interesting because Judgment Day comes out. And I never even thought about Judgment Day. No offense to the Judgment Day, but they never crossed my mind here. You know, Damian Priest kind of tells Gunther that they don't sweat him and he has a dominant run, only second to them. Still would rather have Gunther win both titles, vacate the IC title undefeated. Yeah, that would be. See, if the IC title had an option C, like the X Division title, I totally would love for Gunther to vacate it, like Josh Alexander did when he challenged for the world title. And Damian Priest basically tells Gunther, lo que es de él, también es de ellos. Lo que es tuyo es lo que... So basically whatever is his is theirs. And like Gunther starts asking which one of them is going to be, and he calls. I feel so bad for JD Madonna. Everybody talks about this big head of his. Like, I just don't see it. Maybe it looks different on TV, and maybe it looks different when you go in person. But they say he has a big head. I just don't see it. He says, "Is it the one with the big head?" Basically, in reference to JD Madonna here. And like a brawl almost breaks out, but it doesn't really happen. So there's so many twists and turns here because I guess they either don't know or they know and they just don't want to tell us who's going to face Gunther. Now, backstage, it seems like Rhea's kind of disappointed that Dom stepped up to Gunther. And you can see him briefly interact with Andrade. Tranquilo. So that's going to be an interesting feud if it does happen. But this was a pretty decent segment, an unexpected segment to say the least. I was not expecting a Judgment Day to interact with Imperium and Gunther. So who would you guys want Gunther's opponent to be? Sami Zayn? Chad Gable? Who? Let me know in the comment section in the live chat. So to circle back a little bit, we do have a Cody Rhodes backstage interview, but he's basically talking about Grayson Waller and how he bought back Jey Uso the first time he was on the Grayson Waller show, and now he challenged The Rock and stuff like that, and how he's waiting for The Rock to get back to him on the challenge he laid out. Gunther would send Dom Dom running back to mommy. Yeah, he would. So we get a street fight with the New Day versus Imperium. This was a fucking match, I would say. This was amazing. I would not have mind if this main evented. It doesn't matter who Gunther prevails, as always. True. I would have had no issues whatsoever if this street fight main evented. Because this was an incredible match. I think some of my favorite spots in this match was when the New Day started whacking poor Kaiser like a piñata. And then like Imperium hit him back like a piñata. It was decent, but not amazing to me. Really? How come? Like, also too, like the crowd kept chanting for tables here. The crowd always chants for tables. Like we want tables. It's always the table. It's like the crowd enjoys seeing people get put through tables here. Another spot that I thought was pretty cool was when Xavier Woods did the elbow to Da Vinci. Oh God, I called him Da Vinci. Not the painter Leonardo da Vinci, but Giovanni Vinci, my bad. When he did the elbow to Vinci through the table, I thought that was a really cool spot. Stop sleeping on the New Day. Nearly 10 years of holding it down. Yep, that's true. It's your typical street fight quality, but really enjoying this feud with them. So Imperium actually won this. Like, you know, Vinci sent Kofi Kingston crashing to the table, and like they won. I was actually pretty surprised that they won. I thought the New Day was going to win this feud, but you know what? Good for Imperium for winning. Not that I don't like the New Day, but I felt like, I guess maybe you can. Leonardo da Vinci, she meant, no, I meant Giovanni Vinci. Just because I called Da Vinci, that was a mistake. On my notes, I just write Vinci. I don't write Giovanni Vinci. I just write Vinci. So don't judge me. But you know what? I'm happy that Imperium won this because you know what? It's kind of like a passing of the torch, I guess you can say, from one tag team to another. The New Day passing the torch to Imperium. especially since Big E's not there. They're not a 3-man anymore. But this was really good. I enjoyed it. So backstage, like Chad Gable was talking to Adam Pearce, and he's laying down the reasons why he should be Gunther's opponent. You guys remember, Chad Gable is the only person to have a victory over Gunther. Granted, it was by countout and not pinfall, but still. Giovanni Vinci, don't be salty on the New Day. New Day rocks. Yeah, I know they rock. And then when he did challenge him for the IC title, Gunther, not only did he defeat Chad Gable, he defeated him in front of Chad Gable's family and made Chad Gable's daughter cry. And so he basically tells Adam Pearce that this is war. And he doesn't want war. He wants get his revenge on Gunther for doing that to his daughter. You know, I'm really surprised they haven't revisited that feud. That was a really great feud. And if not Sami Zayn, I would not mind Chad Gable being the one to face Gunther and taking that title off of him. He deserves his WrestleMania moment. We get Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark versus Indi, Hartwell, and Candice LeRae. I was not a fan of this. This segment proved that he's getting that match at WrestleMania. Hopefully. I was not a fan of this. And it's nothing against all the ladies, but I think this was also kind of a short match, and I didn't give him a chance to even get invested in this match before it ended. And again, like, Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark basically feel that they were robbed of an opportunity at the tag titles. And again, why are they putting Shayna Baszler in a tag team match? I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's right there. Shayna Baszler was NXT Women's Champion. Who took the title off of her? Rhea Ripley. There's your story. But for whatever reason, Shayna Baszler hasn't had the opportunity to get a title opportunity against Rhea Ripley, and they keep sticking her in these tag team matches. But I wasn't a huge fan of this. And it makes no sense for them to even fight Indi Hartwell and Candice LeRae, considering the fact that Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell lost to the Kabuki Warriors at Elimination Chamber. It's time for the women's international title. Scrap the tag division. They don't care. Exactly, they don't care. So we get an R-Truth segment, and he's just like sitting down in this Judgment Day locker room, and he's interrupted by DIY and The Miz. Truth calls him a Regeneration X, where it's hilarious. And like Ciampa has got a plan to get back at Judgment Day, and R-Truth steals the TV. I still think that the end game for this is the Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's Awesome Truth are the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to the Judgment Day's Usos, and they're probably going to have this match at WrestleMania. But the question I want to know is, are they ever going to split up the tag belts? Miz got out of the trapped room. Yeah, he was trapped earlier. Yeah, I thought about that. So Miz apparently was trapped in the locker room, and I guess it took forever to get him out. So, but how do you guys feel of the possibility of the Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day at WrestleMania? Yeah, I saw that he got trapped in the locker room. He did. So you get Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. This match was okay. It ends in a DQ because Becky Lynch attacks Nia Jax. She gets back at her for that beatdown earlier in the morning. To open Raw. And backstage, when she talks to Adam Pearce about Nia Jax, she gets her match for next week. But Liv Morgan approaches Becky, and she's pissed at her because she's not everything has to be about her. So I wonder what Liv Morgan's gonna be doing at WrestleMania. You thought all women's matches were boring tonight? It's not their fault. It's they weren't given enough time, really. We get a quick Grayson Waller interview, and one of the things that I noticed is that when Grayson Waller mentions how Cody Rhodes suspected Austin Theory. Austin Theory kind of looks at Waller like, with his face, because he says that he did everything in his power to protect Theory, but he really didn't do anything. Like, he was just kind of just standing there watching Austin Theory take a beating. So I wonder if they're going to split them up here. I don't think they should. I think that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are a great tag team, and I should challenge for the tag titles at some point, but I don't know. We'll see where that goes. So Jey Uso's getting interviewed, and he's talking about how he falls short every time he comes so close. He's like interrupted by Drew McIntyre, and you guys remember like Drew McIntyre is still angry at the fact that the Bloodline cost him the title in his home country. That he tells Jey that he can relate and that he deserves it. And Jey attacks Drew McIntyre and a brawl breaks out. So like Drew McIntyre just being a freaking savage here. I mean, in a way, he does kind of have a point, because Jey was in the Bloodline, and the Bloodline did cost Drew McIntyre his opportunity, but like Drew is he's doing good work. So the main event ends up being, let me see, what is Drew's problem? What happened to F the Bloodline? It's just FJ and CM Punk, right? Like, the main event ends up being Grayson Waller versus Cody Rhodes, and I have to say, like, this was an okay match. Like, Austin Theory was at ringside. We get a note from commentary talking about how Heyman's backstage. Cody Rhodes wins this, and when the match ended kind of early, I think it ended like 8 minutes early, I was like, okay, something's gonna go down. Paul Heyman comes out with 3 random guys that end up being, according to Heyman, his friends from the NYPD. What? This whole ending segment was so odd and weird because it felt like it didn't go anywhere. I don't understand what the point of this segment was. You could have just had Paul Heyman go out there alone. Friday's must-see TV. Yes, it is. So Heyman basically begs Cody to withdraw the challenge from The Rock or else. And Cody's like, or else what? And he also alludes to the fact that last year they both cried in the ring. And Cody like thinks that this whole thing is a Bloodline setup. But no, it's not a setup. Like, he takes out those NYPD guys, and he ends Raw by saying the Bloodline isn't hunting him, he's hunting the Bloodline. So that line was great, but this whole ending segment was just cringe. Like, I have no idea what the point of that was. Paul Heyman has 2 phones for Roman and for Rock. He has 1 phone and to do a 3-way. That is true. He should do a 3-way calling, but obviously he's never heard a 3-way. So yeah, I was not a huge fan of the way Monday Night Raw ended. Honestly, they should have switched things around. They should have put the street fight for the main event. You could just have this on the middle of Raw. Overall, tonight's Raw was not that great. I was not a huge fan of it. There were some things I liked. There were some things I disliked. Really liked the interaction between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. Liked Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. 3 out of 10 mid-show. Everyone was once again watch NXT Roblox. I'll talk about that right now. Really like Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Love the fact that they kind of tease Sami versus Gunther. Like the promo between Chelsea Green. I like the Gunther Judgment Day stuff. I was not a huge fan of the ending segment. Drew McIntyre's promo was really great. What else is on this week? 1K subs, let's go. So, on a scale from a 1 to a Shawn Spears perfect 10, this has to be, I'm going to give it a 6 because it did kind of build to WrestleMania. It did have some teases, but it was not a great show. Not a great show at all. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like I said at the start, and I'll say it here, no perfect 10. Sorry, D. Yeah, no. But you know what was a perfect 10? Actually, no, I can't even say No Surrender was a perfect 10 because of that Con PCO match. But that's a different story. But I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers by Monday, March 4th, and I will cover NXT Roadblock. If not, y'all can forget about me covering NXT Roadblock. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm only 10 subscribers away. Should do a live. I'll think about it. But with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or listen to a video. And I'll see you guys Wednesday after Dynamite. Bye.